sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I wake again.
Welcome to Wellness Tuesdays here in the Wisdom Clinic. I am Nadira Lewis, author and coach, and I have with me today, as always, our herbal naturopath, Sharmane Harrison. Woo! Hey, Sharmane.
Hey, Nadira. How are you?
I am doing good. I know you got some good stuff for us, as you always do, girl. So come on and give it to us, girl. Give it to us. What you got for us today?
All right. Awesome. Thank you for having me. If you are here, you are supposed to be here to receive this information. So I am super excited. Today I will be talking about the 12 secrets of health. And the thing about the 12 secrets of health is this is really a point where I break down my online program. I always let people know it's a process to get to where you're trying to go in your health. It is a journey. It is not a quick fix. So I'll just kind of want to bring you into that process and kind of just break it down to you. And the reason I want to talk to you about that today is because I was diagnosed with a condition called lichen planus, and a few other is autoimmune conditions, a few other autoimmune conditions while I was serving in the military. Now, over the time, from me getting to where I was from illness to symptom free to actually living a healthy lifestyle, I learned that it was not a quick fix. It wasn't something that I just woke up and I was like, oh, this is amazing. So, but a lot of people don't realize that. They don't understand that they don't understand the process. So I'm just here to kind of explain to you all the kind of like that process, because it's not just a physical process, it's an internal process. And that starts mentally. So that's super important, especially if you're dealing with a chronic illness like I was. That definitely takes time because it developed in you internally over time, but again, health is a journey, and it's one that you have to keep building little by little. So I'll never go and tell somebody, oh, it's a destination, or once you get there, that's a diet. I tell people all the time, that's a diet. If you're looking for a finish line, that's a diet. That's not a health journey, because again, you have to keep building little by little. Okay. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today. So I am super excited. So you guys get your pen and papers out, because today it's going to be a little bit more interactive. We're going to use a little bit more brain power. So get your pens and your pencils and something to write with, because I'm going to be asking some questions. And I really want you guys to engage because with the questions, they're going to help you open up your mindset. Especially with the online program that I have, it's going to kind of just give you a little bit more information about it. All right. So, okay. So the definition of health is the state of being free from illness or injury, right? So the definition of free is not under control or in power of, right? So I really want you guys to like kind of listen to that. We want to be able to release ourselves from illness and not be confined or not be bedridden, from illness, or not allow illness to take complete control of our lives. We want to be able to freely enjoy our life. We want to be able to enjoy our family. We want to be able to love and to enjoy, the wealth that we build over time. We just want to be able to do all these things within our health also, because again, health is just not something that's physical, it's mental. And when you get to a point where you can really see and realize that, you're going to get to a point where it's not about you. When I was dealing with my illnesses and I was diagnosed, it started with me. That started with me. I'm like, okay, this happened. The lichen planus is called lichen planus. The condition that I had caused my skin to be pigmented. And when I was going through that, I just wanted that. Well, what cream do I need? What do I need to put on my skin? for it to go away. And it wasn't that simple, and it got to a point where my self-confidence was kind of messed with also. So it became a point where I was just like, oh man, my mental health kind of declined. I started developing a little anxiety, a little, depression and things like that, because I didn't understand what was going on with my body. But there was one point where I found what unconditional love was in that journey. I have a daughter, and my skin was pigmented, and I'm just going through things, and in my mind I'm like, everybody's going to think I'm ugly, people are going to do this, I'm never going to be in a relationship, all these things. And my daughter looked at me. She was 5 at the time. She looked at me and she said, "Mommy, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." She touched my skin and she said, "Does it hurt?" I said, "No, it doesn't hurt." She looked up, she said, "Okay, well, I love you." And she gave me a hug.
Oh.
And at that moment, I was like, that's unconditional love right there,
Yeah.
So anything else outside of that didn't matter. Anything that anybody else could have said to me about me, it didn't matter, because I knew that regardless, because it didn't change my heart. That illness didn't change my heart. It didn't change the person that I was, So I was just like, hey, I just kind of learned at that point to kind of accept it at that point, and a lot of people get to that point where they kind of accept it because they don't know that there's options. They didn't know, and I didn't know it at the time either, because I didn't have a coach, I didn't have anybody to look out for. So I was like, okay, well, it's on my skin, it is what it is, But that's an example of just unconditional love and things like that. So I just had to share that piece. But there are too many people in the world controlled by illness. You have people that they get diagnosed with things and they fall into a deep spiral depression, to the point where they feel like they don't want to live anymore. And it gets really sad, because it's like you're allowing this illness that you're dealing with in this moment to control you, to the point where you feel like you're not valued enough to be here on this earth. You don't value yourself enough. You don't value your life enough, so we don't want to do that. We don't want to get so controlled, whether it be mental illness or physical, to the point where we kind of just keep spiraling, and there's too many people in this world, also with food addictions. If we want to take it, outside of mental, it is food addictions, and they don't even know it, because they're too busy telling themselves, oh, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, I can't stop eating this, that's, so we gotta get to the point where we kind of get out of that mindset, but hopefully by the end of this dialogue, I do hope to provide you with some clarity on the importance of freeing yourself from the shackles of a toxic lifestyle, so you can begin your journey into natural wellness. So I want to ask you all some questions. Okay, so one of the questions: who enjoys going to the doctor? Who really enjoys going to Nadira? Do you enjoy going to the doctor?
There are some doctors I can not all of them. I don't like going to the gynecologist when we have to do the pap smear. I hate it. But I mean, I'll go to, I don't mind going when it's just a regular checkup. It's not so bad. But when it comes to like gynecologists and all that other stuff, yeah, I'm like, I don't like it.
Right. So another thing, like, who just goes to the doctor, when they feel their best? Who, if you tip top, you're not going to make a doctor's appointment. You're not going to book a doctor's appointment with your provider to say, hey, Dr. Bob, I just came in to say I feel amazing, and I don't need your medication anymore, and I don't need you anymore. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that, and you know why? Because say you did go into the doctor office and said that, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, well, I am so glad to hear that, but, or however, let's just check and run these tests just to make sure, just to see. That's what they're supposed to do. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to find something. They're going to find something that, so you can walk out of there, with medication, something that's going to make you worry. They're going to tell you that, you need some medication or some sort for something, so you can pay that $20 copay or get referred to some type of specialist or keep an eye out for this or start treatment for that. but that's because that's what they go to school for. You know, that they're doing a job. You know, I've heard it too many times.
They're going to practice medicine. So yeah, I definitely understand.
Yeah, so they're gonna run these tests because I've heard it so many times from people. They're like, I just went to the doctor just to make sure I'm good to go. They're not gonna make sure that you're good to go though. You're gonna have to leave out of there because they gotta get paid too. So
for real,
you're gonna leave out of there with something.
Facts, and that's the truth. That is the God honest truth.
Yeah,
that's the God honest truth.
Yeah. So, I hear people say they got to go to the doctor just make sure they're good to go. So I'm just like, it's kind of like, they're back in elementary school. You know how your kids got to go to school to get a physical? You got to just make sure you're good to go. So, they walk out, disappointed because Dr. Bob done found something wrong with them. He's like, I thought I was good to go, but it's mind boggling sometimes, and to see, in a space that I'm operating in at now, because, I've been there before. And I know, before the time I didn't see it or I didn't even recognize it. But now I'm just like, so we want to free ourselves from, having to do those things consistently. We want to free ourselves. Absolutely. We don't want to have unexpected visits to the ER and bills, over certain things that we have control over. I hear stories, about people going to the ER over things. It's just like that they kind of had control over. It's emergency situation. I got it, but when it's emergency situation over something that you kind of had control over, then it's a different ball game.
Because we don't pay attention. That's because we don't really pay attention to. I mean, our body sends us signals and stuff like that. But I think that's why a lot more men don't go to the doctor more so than women. Women will go, but we'll kind of just, and sometimes depending on the age, because sometimes older women will kind of be like, oh, it's nothing, honey. I'm fine. Mm-hmm. They'll be more likely to tend to something more natural. It's the younger generation that'll be like, they go to the doctor, especially if you got, if you have insurance and you don't have to worry about how it's going to be paid. You'd be like, oh, I got a rash right here.
Right. I got a paper cut. That's what I got a paper cut.
Okay. For real.
Yeah, but no, I definitely understand, and this is coming from somebody. I used to be sick, like I said, 8 months out of the year.
Wow.
That was me, and I haven't been sick once in the past year. So, like you said, transform people. Guess what? Heal people can help heal people.
Yes.
So that's definitely something that's super important. But I'm definitely gonna go on. I know you guys are like, what's the secret? Stop the secret. So for some of you, you know how I do. I start off and then I'm just like, y'all need to hear this information. This is important.
Okay.
For some of you that may have not know, I have an online program called Heal by Nature. Now the HEAL is an acronym because I am an herbalist, so legally, HEAL is an acronym. That I'm going to break it down for you. But the methodology for HEAL is habits that you identify, so I can educate you on how to achieve a healthier lifestyle. That is what I do in that program, okay? Because you want to get to a point where you are able to identify those habits. I'm here. I'm a coach. I'm here to help educate you. I'm going to help you, assist you with that, and you're going to educate yourself also on how to achieve a healthier, lifestyle. So it's cut and dry. But that first secret I want to go over is habit. That's the first H in the word heal. Now, habit, the definition of habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. So when we think about food and our habits, I want you to think about what comes to mind, and I want you to write it down. When you think about habits and food, or think about, it doesn't even have to be food. It could just be about your daily habits, your mindset. Because all those things are important. So I want you to kind of think about, your habits, your daily habits, and, those things like that. So that can be, you can think about maybe, I have a sweet tooth. You can write down, maybe pizza every Friday night. or habits. I have a bad habit of consuming bacon or ribs, or
Yeah.
I got a habit of on every Soul Food Friday. Now these are real examples from my life, from my life that I
Girl,
struggled
you
with back
said
in the day.
bacon. I almost went into a shock over here, like bacon. God, I miss eating bacon.
Yeah, so those are definitely some habits. Because when I was in the military, we had soul food. I think it might not have been Soul Food Friday, it might have been Soul Food Wednesday, but it was soul food something, and I was there every week on the day. So that was one of my habits.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
one of my habits. So I just kind of want you to think about what comes to mind when you think about habits and your daily lifestyle and things like that. So now, a question. Now, simply just ask yourself, is that habit conducive to my health? And I want you to write down, just a yes or no. And if you do think it's conducive for your health, why is that? And if it's not conducive to your health, why is that? And just kind of, write that down. Now, the importance of a habit is because, again, it is something that we do every day. And as you can see from the definition, it's said that it's hard to give up. Habits are very hard to give up. So when you come into my online program, that is the first thing that we work on. That is the first thing, because it's so super important, because you're not going to stick to anything if your habits are not aligned with what you're trying to do. You can't say I want to get healthy, but then every 3 days out the week you smoking, drinking, and doing these things, and it's not conducive to your health.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's super important. So that's secret number one. Just kind of think about these things when you think about habits, right? So the second one, holistic. The definition of holistic is characterized by the treatment of a whole person, taking into account mental and social factors, environmental factors, rather than just symptoms of a disease. So, what comes to your mind when you think about like holistic? I want you to ask yourself that. What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind, Nadira, when you think about holistic?
Holistic, before I knew what I knew now, the first thing that I would think in my mind is something pertaining to medical. I was thinking medical versus something natural versus something, versus medicine versus actual medicine. So I would think maybe natural, like instead of taking cough syrup, you take some lemon tea or something like that. So to me, holistic, I would think of it as taking something natural versus taking medications.
Right, definitely. I know for me, when I thought about holistic prior to, I don't know, I would think about like yoga. Like in my head, I'm just like,
Yeah, oh yeah,
all
yoga.
that
I
fruit
can see
fruit
that.
stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, that stuff that with holistic. What are you talking about? Because at
Hmm.
one point I wasn't into anything natural. Especially when I was serving in the military, I didn't know anything. So that was a big transition, for me going through that.
Hmm.
But I just kind of want you to think about like, what are your beliefs? When it comes to holistic healing, you have a lot of people out there that feel like holistic is just they don't believe in it. They don't believe it to be
Hmm.
true. But if you think about the definition, treatment of a person, considering taking into account their mental and social factors. I don't see,
Right.
why it wouldn't make sense. What do you
Right.
believe holistic to be? Is, for example, I want you to think about if you were growing up in all forms of an abusive environment from 5 years of age to 25 years of age. That's a solid 20 years, right? How would
Hmm.
how would you feel? How you feel, the things that you went through. Maybe you were getting beat on, drugs, suicide attempts, verbal abuse, things like that. you know so take an
Right.
individual who went through those things. Now say during all that they developed some habits to be able to deal with these things, because like smoking, drinking, emotional eating, things like that, because habits are going to form through your life. They're going to form through your life. That's why they're so important to be able to identify them. And I want you to think about if you were, diagnosed with a mental illness or obesity, and you go from doctor to doctor, and the doctor's going to throw some medication at you and send you on your way. So the
Yeah.
importance of holistic is basically treating that person, due to, going through all these things. You know what I'm saying? You have to treat that person as a whole, because as a whole, that's what develop, these things happening to them. It's not just throw medication at them and they're good to go, you know? So sometimes we have to get to the point where we're like, we have to think about the whole picture, because sometimes medication alone is just not going to do it. It's just going to be temporary. So I really want you guys to, think about that, the importance of holistic, right? So the third secret, heal. So heal stands for becoming sound or healthy again, to restore, to overcome. Now, going back to that scenario, right? So after going through all these traumatic events, right? How does healing sound? How does healing sound to you? And I wanted you to think about your own personal life and the things that you're going through. Does it sound impossible? Does it sound absolutely amazing? What about the holistic, portion, to be able to take in consideration and accountability that maybe I'm in this situation, I'm in, medically, due to environmental and social factors that I went through, you know, um, that led to my mental, factors, or the mental situation of it, right? So I want you to write down 3 major things you want or feel that you need to heal from. It can be physical or an emotional. Do you feel like you need to heal from your trauma from your childhood and an abusive relationship, maybe illness, diabetes? What do you feel like you need to heal from personally in your life to get to the next level? Because again, health is not just simply just, this one thing, this physical thing. It's mental and emotional. You have to take all these different things into consideration when you're actually trying to get better in your health overall. But if you don't know, maybe you don't know, I want you to ask yourself, then what triggers you? If you don't know what you need to heal from, what triggers you? Ask yourself that. The importance of healing, is to make sure that you get from a point of a toxic lifestyle into, natural wellness. It's so important, so that you can take control of your life, so you can take control of the things that's going on around you, right? So that's super important. So one of the things that I want you to really understand is like that's the secret number 4, right? Educate. So in order to do these things, in order to heal, in order to make sure that, you're going down like a holistic route and things like that, you want to educate yourselves, or get you a coach that can help educate you, right? So the definition of educate: to give intellectual, moral, or social instructions, to give someone training in or information on a particular field. So when it comes to educate, the things that we learn in the program, in the Heal by Nature program, you will learn why you're consuming the things you're consuming. You're going to learn, you're going to be able to identify your habits. You will learn your relationships with the things that you are consuming. You will learn how it affects your body. You're going to learn how it's breaking down in your body. You're going to learn, and I can go on and on. You're just going to learn so much. You want to really be able to understand why you do the things you do. And, how powerful is it, to learn something and apply it, because you learned it through the experience versus someone just telling you to do this and that, and you have no reason behind why you're doing it. It's like going to the doctor and they give you medication, right? But you take medication willingly. You don't ask any questions. You take it willingly. Okay, the doctor said take it, so let me go ahead and take it. No indication of why it's going in your body other than, oh, I got this health issue and the doctor told me to take it, and this person said to utilize it in my body, right? But when you come into my program, you'll be provided clarity, because you'll know what's going into your body. You'll know why it's going into your body. You'll know what it is, what's in it. You'll know why it's going to help your body. You're going to know the ingredients in it, if it has ingredients, just all these things you're going to be able to learn. You're going to be able to take those habits, identify them, You're going to be able to learn how to shift your habits, your daily habits, day by day. So most of the time, it's like when people are taking supplements. 9 times out of 10, people are taking supplements because somebody told them to. I ask people all the time, why are you taking this supplement? Oh, somebody told me to. It's just like, well, do you know the importance of it? Do you know why it's going in your body? It kind of goes back to when you heard your parent or your mom or your dad say, if so-and-so jumped off a building, would you do it too? That's kind of my mindset when I hear, because so-and-so told me to. And I'm just like, what? I've been there too, though. I've been there too. I've been to a point where I was just kind of doing these faddish things because somebody told me to. I didn't really understand the importance of why I was doing it. I was just doing it. So it's very important that we understand the education portion. You hear people scream all the time about the importance of education because knowledge is power. Definitely is power. And, which takes me to my next point. Once you become educated, then you're able to elevate. You are able to elevate, right? So to elevate is to raise or to lift something up to a higher position. And that's definitely super important, right? To be able to lift up yourself to a higher position. You'll be able to raise your vibrations. You'll be able to, because you're gonna probably be disgusted once you learn, what you were doing before no longer serves you. So instead of you saying, oh, well, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, you're gonna be like, yeah, I don't want that anymore because this no longer serves my body. You're gonna know why it doesn't serve your body. You're gonna get deep into it because that's how we go. That's the things that we do in the program. You'll get to a point where you're gonna become, you're gonna want to do better. Basically, you're gonna want to do better. Not just for yourself again, because this journey is gonna start to get really, really, really personal. It's gonna start to get really personal, and then the sixth secret is to empower. Right. That's the sixth one. To empower is to make someone or something more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. Empower. That's what empower stands for. So once the journey becomes personal, you're going to feel empowered and understand that you are in control of your health. And when you feel empowered, you can actually start realizing that, again, you are in control of the things that you are consuming. And that is the point where you begin to tell yourself, I can do this for myself, for my family. So that's definitely, something that's super important. Nadira, what do you think about?
I think that is important because I think most of the things, the habits that we form is based on what we've learned in our environment, in our household, the people we're around. And so I think it's important to learn to, in order to get to have a new mindset or to even think about changing, whether it's your eating habits or, what the way you view food, you have to get in a different environment so that you can see the effects of your habits, of your choices. I heard somebody say this earlier today, and I was like, darn, I gotta write that down because that's so cool. And they said when you were born, you look like your, oh, I know it was, I was in Clubhouse, and this lady said it. She said, when you're born, you look like your mother and father. When you die, you look like your choices. And I thought, ooh, when you die, you look like your choices. So we develop habits in the end that we suffer the consequences of because of our choices. So that's what I think of. But we're going to continue more. We're going to go ahead and go into a quick break and give Sharmane a chance, the opportunity to get us ready for the last section. Are you guys enjoying this? Make sure you put it in the comments and let us know that you are enjoying this. If you are watching us on the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay. We enjoy all of your comments and engagements, and make sure you visit Sharmane and discover and set up a discovery call with her. Her program is amazing, guys. I'm telling you, I am definitely one of her benefits of her programs, and you're going to hear about my testimony at a later date. But I'm telling you, this woman, she knows her stuff. She's the real deal. So make sure you guys visit her at www.healbynature.org, which is a part of the breakdown of what she was telling you about her program. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after this. Do you have a business, product, or service that you want to share on the Sisterhood Check-In broadcast? Make sure you send us a message at becomingawomanofproverbs@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us at 470-560-5949. We look forward to partnering with you here on the broadcast. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to join me and international holistic health and wellness coach Sharmane Harrison as we begin to discuss all things health every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. in the Wisdom Clinic. I'll see you on the inside. You sometimes get overwhelmed and discouraged. But let me read to you what Colossians chapter 1 says, verse 8. Who also declared unto us your love in the Spirit. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that ye may walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God, strengthened with all might according to his glorious power unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness, giving thanks unto the Father, which has made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints of light. I just want to take the time to tell you, be encouraged. Don't let anybody take your light, and just know that God is always in control. And we are back with our herbal naturopath, Sharmane Harrison. I am your host, Nadira Lewis, and we are glad that you are joining us here in the Wisdom Clinic for Wellness Tuesdays, where we are talking about the 12 secrets of health. And for those of you that are watching, if you enjoyed that commercial, make sure you register for my class that I have done a class on how to create content that so if you want to know how to make great videos like that, make sure you go look at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you visit bit.ly/create content, the number 4 myself, and go ahead and register and get signed up to visit that class. I'm telling you, I did the class last week and it was amazing. Everybody that was there had a phenomenal time and learned a whole lot. So if you want to create video content and you want to know how to do it from the comfort of your own home with just your creativity and your experience, make sure you register for my class. Okay, so we are back with Sharmane Harrison. So
awesome. Yes, I'm always dancing like when the commercials come on. I'm just like dancing. So yes,
we gotta have our little vibe. We gotta have energy because people are attracted to your energy and your vibe. And when you can show, not just look like you're happy and that you're healthy, but you show it, you live it, it becomes a part of your lifestyle. People are drawn to the energy that you give. So we be giving them the energy, Sharmane. We giving them the energy.
Definitely. Yes. Well, if you missed the first part, I was breaking down the my program. It's called Heal by Nature. So it's kind of breaking down the process of what you're going to go through when you come into the program. Now, the HEAL stands for habits that you identify. So I can educate you on how to achieve a healthier lifestyle. The H is habits, the E is educate, the A is achieve, and the L is lifestyle. But that breaks down into so much more when you actually come inside the program. So just to give you a quick recap, we were talking about habits. We were talking about how the importance of the holistic portion of it. We went into the healing portion of it, and then that broke down further even into the educate portion. Once you get educated, you're going to start to elevate. Once you start to elevate, you're going to feel empowered, right? So once you start to feel empowered, that's when you start to achieve. And that's where we are at. The seventh secret is to achieve. Now, when you want to achieve something, right, the definition of achieve is to successfully bring about or reach a desired objective, level, or result by effort, skill, or courage. Now, achieve is where the commitment and the action comes in at, right? That's where you're just like, okay, I chose to do this, right? This is the part where you literally have to start doing what you say you're going to do, right? So this is, there's no excuses. When you get to this part of the course, there's no excuses because we're about to get things into action. You're not just saying you're going to do this. We're about to be about it. So you're either going to show up for yourself or you're not. And we want to make sure that you're showing up for yourself. You have to be courageous to give, to release those things that no longer serve you. You have to be courageous. If you're saying you want to be healthier, but you begin to self-sabotage by operating at your lower self, which is telling yourself, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. Or you just start making up excuses like, well, I'm not going to do this. I want you to ask yourself, is going against your health worth it, for a moment that can add up to illness later? Telling yourself, you're not, because I've experienced that with individuals before. They kind of get to this point of and this is the exciting part for me, because I want to see if you're going to do what you're going to say you're going to do, because I'm making sure I do my part. So I kind of get excited with the achieve part when we get to that level to achieve, because now I'm saying, okay, let's go do this or let's go do that. You're saying you want to do it. Let's go in your kitchen. We emptying out your cabinets. Let's go. Something like that is just like, whoa, wait, this is getting real. But if you get to a point where you're just like, well, I'm not willing to do this, I'm not willing to do that, you're kind of self-sabotaging, and we don't want to do that. That's not going to get you the results. That's not going to, so we want to achieve nothing but greatness. That's the importance of achieving. We want to achieve nothing but greatness. So we're able to go to the eighth secret, which is affirm, right? We want to affirm. We want to state this as a fact. We want to assert strongly and publicly. That's the definition of affirm. You want to begin to speak life over yourself while you're going through this lifestyle change, while you're starting this lifestyle change. You want to affirm that you are able to do these things. And it's super, super, super important to affirm, because in the course, I teach this at the beginning. It's a part of your habits. So affirm and habits kind of go hand in hand, because you want to be able to do the opposite of what you were doing before. And I kind of teach you different methods, various forms of methods to keep you focused, to keep you to a point where you are affirming these things, where you are, assertively, strongly, saying, I can, I will, and I'm going to do it. And I am doing it. So you want to be able to get to that point, that you begin to speak life over yourself. Now, that ninth secret is to ascend. Ascend means to go up or to climb. But, it's self-explanatory. To ascend, you want to extend in your health. You want to be able to get, because it's a journey. You want to be able to get to a point where you're here and you're trying to get there. But in order to do that, there are levels. You want to ascend, but you have to start here first before you get up there. You have to start at level 1. So you want to be able to go up or climb and just learn per each step, right? And that's when you get to the lifestyle, right? That's when you start to get to the lifestyle change, right? And the lifestyle is the way in which a person or group lives. I always say that is super important. That's why I said it's a lifestyle change. I'm constantly saying it's a lifestyle change. It's not a quick fix, it's a lifestyle change, because a lifestyle change is the way you live every day of your life. It's the way you live. It's the choices that you are making every day. So it's not a quick fix. It's not, a diet. It's not, sometimes I'm going to eat healthy. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm going to do right. Sometimes I'm not. That's back and forth. So you want to be able to get to a point where you actually come into a lifestyle change. And this is the part where you learn that you don't have to cut everything out that you love. You really don't. You don't have to. You just have to substitute it. You just have to kind of like substitute it. You have to kind of get to a point where you reset your body. But as you can see, the lifestyle changes at the end. It's not at the beginning. That's the biggest thing. It's not at the beginning. So we focus so much, when things happen to us, the instant gratification, the instant result, but that's not how it works. The lifestyle changes at the end. So people are like, what do you eat? What do you do this? What do you do that? How do you do this? And when I tell them it has nothing to do with food at the beginning, they're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Right?
They be looking like, right. What did I sign up for? What? This show I'm in the right program? Right. So I'm just like, because you can, in the beginning, you can eat all the food that you want. It's not going to help push the waste out of your body. It's not going to help you, your mindset to stay on track. And I was going through when I was going through my journey, like I said, that's how I was in the beginning. I was just like, well, let me hurry up. Well, what's going on? Where the cream's at? Where is that? What do I need to eat? What do I need to drink to get rid of it? And when I went through my journey, I was like, wow, a year and a half later, after trying to figure it out all this time, a year and a half later, I was like, well, this wasn't a quick fix. I had to change my mindset. I had to change my life. I had to change my habits. So I put all this into the program. And it's kind of like it's backwards. We expect it to be this 1, 2, 3 process. And then when it's not, it's just like, oh, okay. But then at the end, that's when I say, oh, well, you don't have to cut out, everything that you love, but you do have to substitute, when it comes to the food portion, substitute things in order to, after you reset your body. Because when you go through the program and you reset your body's not even going to want half of the things. Your body's not going to tolerate half of the things that you were putting in there before. That's true. That's true. I was thankful that the Lord allowed me to be able to have ice because I love me some ice cream. But when I realized that I can still have ice cream, but eat healthier, ice cream, like there's some vegan ice cream that I absolutely love. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I never knew that having a change of lifestyle in the way you eat would be great. Like I'm not really missing, you're right. I'm not really missing a whole lot. It's like, because once you give your body the things that it needs, you no longer desire. And that's the same thing with what comes to our mind. When we start to replace, most of the time we just try to take things from people. Don't do this. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. But if you don't give them something in exchange for it, they're going to automatically revert back to what it is, especially when they go through something and they haven't dealt with the areas of their mind and how they got there in the first place. Those old habits are going to come back, and they're going to come back roaring. And not only did you realize, oh, I ate like 2 Snicker bars. Oh, I'm sorry, I ate 2 Snicker bars, a bag of M&Ms. And I also, that was my thing. M&Ms was my thing. I would eat the coffee M&Ms like it was actual coffee, like literally. And I had to stop. Now it's like, now I don't even desire like that stuff anymore, because I'm seeing the changes of what it's like to give your body what it needs. And you don't even really desire those things like that no more. So I agree with you 100%.
Right. Definitely. And it also, the biggest thing also is when it becomes a lifestyle change, like you said, you no longer desire it. It no longer serves you. And you're not to the point where you're going to keep quitting and starting back over. And starting back over. That's that diet mindset. That's that, because when you operate at a diet mindset instead of more of a lifestyle change mindset, it's you see it as, oh my God, she's taking this from me. She doesn't want me to have this. She doesn't want me to have that. And then you kind of, again, you self-sabotage. You get to a point where you're like, well, I think I deserve to have these things in life, so I'm not going to give up on, it's just like, oh goodness. So you got to understand, the importance, because once you get into that lifestyle change, you'll begin to think clearer, because you feel great, you begin to understand the importance of pushing the waste out of your body, because you went through the process, you went through the experience. Little by little, you start to feel, better. And that is when I'm to the 11th secret. That is when you start living. So once you go to start that lifestyle change, that is when you start living. That's when the definition of a living is to remain alive, the pursuit of a lifestyle of the specific type. So that is the definition of living, the lifestyle of a specific type. So at this point, you're able to live and not just, having to survive, right? You're getting to the point you want to ask yourself, are you living life or are you just surviving? It's the same thing with our health. I know I used to get to a point where I used to just, oh my gosh, that's the world's worst cravings, right? Or I would get to a point where I was eating to survive. And what I mean by that is when I had points where I would go to McDonald's or go buy bread or go buy certain things for my daughter to consume just to say, okay, I'm busy. I got stuff going on here. Eat this, be full. I call them fillers. I call them fillers. Just, now I don't eat. And I tell my daughters all the time and myself, you don't eat to get full. You eat to live. You eat to put nourishment in your body. You're not supposed to consume to the point where like, oh, like it's Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving dinner. That's not, you should, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that, definitely to your body, So you don't want to operate where you're just kind of like going so much and you're just kind of just filling voids, filling
Well, let
those
me
spaces.
let, let me ask you a question. For somebody that does go through that phase where they're used to eating to their full, how do they transition out of that? Because that was one of the things that used to happen to me, and I noticed that I know quite a few people that do that. They eat and they be like, "Oh, that didn't fill me up." Now, when you say not eating till you full, meaning that not feeling like your stuff or feeling, how do they do that? Because some people they're used to that. Is that something that has to be changed in the mindset first, or is that there's some habits they can put into place to change the type of foods that they're eating so that they can feel content versus
That's more of a digestive detox process that has to happen, because the body parasites are so real, right? Parasites are definitely in the body. They
okay.
do contribute to that feeling of voidness, of being full. So that's a part of the detox process that I do teach, because you're going to get to a point where, because your abdomen, your stomach is expanded. When you eat like that, your stomach starts to expand. Parasites start to happen. All these things start to happen. So you just kind of want to get to a point where you do push out the waste, you detox. Because again, when you detox, go through the program, you are resetting your body. You're resetting your body. So that is a process, because I went through it myself. I
Okay.
used to eat until I was full, and it's just like when you eat a little bit, it's just like, oh my gosh. And it's a little bit of both mindset, and a lot of the rest is detoxing, pushing waste out of the body, so you don't feel so you don't feel like you have to consume those things, right? Because again, you're not going to stick to it, if you don't know why you're doing it, you don't really understand. You're gonna be like, man, bump that. She said not to eat so much, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You're not gonna really stick to it. So that's what I teach doing this process, the detox process. So that's another perk to
Okay.
going through the program.
Gotcha.
Yes, ma'am. So when you are living, again, that's when you understand the importance of what is going on in your body, your family's body. So you're just kind of getting to the point where you're making better choices that do allow you to feel better on a day-to-day basis. And once you get to this point in the course, you begin to actually take control of your health. You can feel the difference when you apply the tools and the knowledge given. You start to take your power back. And that is such a beautiful feeling, when you start to take your power back, when you feel like food does not control you. These things do not control me. My lifestyle, my environment is not going to control me. I'm going to control, what I'm consuming, what I'm putting in my body, what I'm not putting in my body. I'm going to take control. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care how anybody feels, because I know I have friends who they go home for the holidays, and they kind of feel pressured
Mm-hmm.
into, consuming things, and they're just like, oh, I don't want to consume that, but if I don't consume it, my family's gonna be like, what's wrong with you? You think you're better than
Mm-hmm.
somebody? Why you not eating this? You used to eat
What's
this when you
wrong with
was
you?
little 30
You've
years
been
ago.
eating collard greens all this time, ain't never had no problems. Now you talking about that detox? You can eat them collard greens. Them collard greens will send you to the bathroom.
Right. Exactly. So yes, when you begin to take power over yourself, and you're just like, you're not bothered by that, because you know that you are going to live a life that you're just like, hey, this is not conducive to my health. And if you don't feel like it, that's fine. That's okay that you don't feel like it, but I know what I'm going to put in my body. I know how I'm going to feel. And I know that you get to a point where I want to get you to a point where you begin to see that light. And that is the last secret, that light. And the definition of light is the natural agent that stimulates sight and makes things visible, makes things clear. So I want you to take the time to envision your life at its optimized health, right? I want you to see that light. I want you to see that natural agent that stimulates your sight and makes things visible and clear, right? So that's the 12th secret, the light. Now I want you to envision, how does that look to you? You operating at your optimized health. How do you look? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning and go throughout your day? How do you feel when you lay down at night? Is your back hurting? Are you like, oh, or how does that feel when you're operating at your optimized health? Are you able to run around with your kids at the beach or go hiking with them with no body pain? Are you able to fit in those size, whatever jeans that you haven't worn in years? Are you able to wake up and not have to worry about getting out of bed and being, and being productive for the day? You want to get to a point where are you able to make healthier choices with your family, because you're not worried about what anyone else is saying, or you're not worried about, your kids saying, ew, I don't want that, that's nasty. Is your skin glowing? Is your hair flowing? What's going on when you sit and you envision yourself in that space, at your optimized health, at your healthiest level of health? Because that's a beautiful space to be. And like I said, again, it's a journey. The importance of the light is because when you enter the wilderness, you can't see it, because all you see is darkness. When you first enter, I always say wander through the wilderness. And that means when you first enter, you don't see that light. All you see is the excuses that you are making, the fear of why you can't give up something. You see your limited beliefs. You see all these things when you operate from a space where you understand that it takes one choice at a time, no pressure, one choice at a time to make a difference. That is when you begin to see that light. You tell yourself, I'm sick of this. I know I have told myself that plenty of times. I am sick of this. That's the space you want to be at. I know you done said it a few times in there. I am sick
I
of
say
this.
it when I don't feel good. When I ate something I ain't got no business. Especially if you sneak and eat something, like you eat more than one piece of cheesecake, you be like, darn it. You know what? Let me tell you, a matter of fact, I can give you an accurate food item that I had to completely stop eating. Like, I'm from Jersey. We like White Castle. So in Georgia, there is Crystal. So I remember I would be like, I just love like the little hamburgers. So I would know my stomach would ache every time I would eat it. But I would be because I was so convinced that nope, this is it. I'm gonna get this ice cream. I'm gonna get this hamburger. And my daughter would be trying to FaceTime me while I'm actually I tell you, boy, these children. But so I would eat the hamburger, and then all of a sudden I would be like, oh, I will pay for it later. And my stomach would hurt so bad. And I would be like, oh my God, but it was so good going down. And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, you know what? I don't know what's going on the inside of my body by me doing this. That's when I would come to the reality, like, oh my gosh, girl, why did you do this? You know, this is going to hurt your body, but it was so good going down.
Yes, that's what I talk about, those moments, those moments that lead up later on. So you got to be careful,
Mm-hmm.
but you definitely Gotta get to a point, where you're just like, yo, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being,
I do that too.
I'm sick of being sick. I'm sick of this illness. I'm sick of, going to the doctor every 2 seconds. I'm sick of these medical bills piling up. I'm sick of telling my kids they eat too much junk. I'm sick of, saying this runs in the family. I'm sick of always starting a diet and I can't stick to it. You have to get to a point where you say, I'm sick of this. And that's, why at the end of my course, I always say, congratulations, because you are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that light at the end of the tunnel is where you wander through the wilderness, and that's the start of your journey. By the end of my program, I know that I got you. I did my part. Once you get to that, I know I did my part, because again, it's a journey. I helped guided you through all the things that were hard for you. I helped guided you through those things that you thought were impossible. And as you can see, when I say health is not a quick fix, but a journey, in those 12 steps that I just went through, I have broken down a few layers. That's just a few layers. So imagine what you would receive when you actually come and join the program. That's the framework of it. And I've done it myself, which is the reason that I'm able to go from dealing to healing. And I want you to be able to do the same thing. And I want you to be able to get to a point where you see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to first make that commitment. You have to first make a decision to want to do it. So if you're ready to do that, definitely reach out, book a call with me. The website is www.healbynature.org. I have my Instagram at the very top, my Facebook page also. And when you come into that program, we do go through all these things, these 12 steps, step by step, and I'm with you the whole time. I will work with you for 90 days. That's the offer that's on the website. That's the 4-week course that's included in the various packages. So that's just the start. The 4-week course that's on the website. You do get access to that when you join, but I can work with you up to 90 days. Depending on your illness, if you need something more, if you're dealing with a chronic illness, that you've been dealing with for some time, I can work with you for 6 months. That's another package, and I can work with you for up to a year, and that's another package, right? So definitely, that is the website right there. I'm telling you, it's not instant gratification. When you go, you have to go through the process. I work with people that are looking to go through the process, not those that are looking for a quick fix. Those are the testimonials. Yes, those are testimonials right there of people I've worked with. And then also those are my right there to stay updated. If you are looking for more information, newsletters, all those things, put your email address right there in the stay updated. I do different challenges. I have Facebook group. I have different resources for you all to utilize if you subscribe to the website. So make sure that when you visit the website, you hit the subscribe button. Yes. And I do have the question and answer sections on the commonly asked questions. Some people ask, do you have to be vegan to join a program? No. Do you have to do this to join a program? How long till I see results? That's up to you. Most people see results within a 90-day window of commitment. That's of staying committed to the program. So definitely, that's my before and after picture up there. I'm 5 feet tall. I was pushing 160 pounds at one point. Gut health and all these things where I was going on. So if you are looking to just lose weight or lose waste, as I like to call it, definitely this program does help you with weight loss and losing weight also. So you don't have to just be struggling with lichen planus or any type of some type of illness. If you just want to lose weight, and the program is definitely designed for that too. Yes, and one of the questions is, do I have to be vegan to take this course? No, you don't. You do not have to be vegan. Why is that portion of the course 4 weeks long? That portion of the course is 4 weeks long. I work with you for 90 days, 6 months, or a year, because transformation does not happen in 30 days. Physical transformation can, but the mental transformation takes even longer. So if you wanting to stick to the program, that is why it starts. That portion just starts at 4 weeks.
All right, you guys heard it from the herbal naturopath herself. So make sure you guys are proactive in making sure that you enroll. Sharmane gives us incredible value every Tuesday. Don't allow this information to pass through. There are not many places where you have holistic or natural or herbal naturopaths that are actually training you and giving you information for free to help you. She comes every Tuesday and she gives us information on different ways that we can improve our health. I'm telling you guys, we are living in a time where people are dying because their immune systems are being compromised for so many different reasons. And you can be proactive. You can take the steps necessary. She's given us 12 secrets of health to help us with making sure that we take care of our body. So make sure you set up a discovery call for her. Join her at www.healbynature.org. Thank you so much, Sharmane, for just always educating us and always giving us valuable information. I can't thank you enough for being a part of the Wisdom Clinic Wellness Tuesdays. If you guys, again, have any questions, you can reach out to her on Instagram at Sharmane__Q, or you can also reach out to her at her website at healbynature.org. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys. Nobody have any questions? If you do have questions after the broadcast is over, make sure you still put it in the comments. Sharmane and I will also read the comments and we will respond to you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Sharmane, did you have any final words before we actually end the broadcast?
No final words. You guys reach out, take your health seriously, especially during these times with all these different various forms of COVID coming out and things like that. So especially if you are one of those people that are not taking the vaccine, okay? So we need to put something in place to help to make sure that you definitely good to go, okay? So reach out to me.
Definitely. All right, guys, we will see you on Friday at the Sisterhood Check-In. I look forward to seeing you. Hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day.
I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I wake. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I wake.